Hello everyone, happy belated Halloween. I figured I would come back and do another one of these tier list thingies. My Gordon video didn't do that well, but I enjoyed making it, so why not do another? And to fit in with the semi-related spooky month, why not rank all the spooky episodes? So yeah, I don't have much else to say. I'll go through each episode as I talk about them, and yeah, we'll see how things go from there. Oh, I need to move this real quick. Here we go. Alright, let's get started. So first up we have Ghost Train, and obviously that goes in S. Amazing characterization from Percy, Thomas, and Toby. Lovely atmosphere. Really sets the mood and is very different from what you'd usually expect from Season 2. Really love this episode. One of my favorites. Thomas, Percy, and the Dragon. I'd argue this is more of a character-driven episode than it is a spooky episode, but I still think this one is really great. In fact, I much prefer this over Percy and Thomas's friendship in Tale of the Brave. And I'm going to be bringing up Tale of the Brave a lot in this video, so yeah, just letting you all know for that. But yeah, I mean, Percy teasing Thomas about being scared is much more, I think is much more effective than Percy being scared and Thomas being the voice of reason. Or I guess in Scaredy Engines, Thomas is the one teasing Percy for being scared. And hell, even Ghost Train, which this episode is meant to be a direct sequel to that episode. So yeah, this is a wonderful two-parter. Oh, I forgot Woolly Bear. Yeah, Woolly Bear is meant to go in between. But yeah, phenomenal episode. Love it. Escape. Yeah, I decided to put Escape and Rusty to the Rescue on here because they both deal with scrap and really have a lot of real-life influence. And, you know, seeing an engine seeing scrap in the show is the equivalent of a human seeing a dead body, so why not? These are like the two very scrap-heavy episodes, so why not include them? Escape, S tier, peak characterization, peak real-life influence, peak atmosphere, peak music, everything about the episode works. I love it. What else do you want from me? Rusty to the Rescue, I'm afraid isn't as good. I don't like what this episode does to Stepney, because, why even bring him here if you're just gonna change his character drastically? Do you like bluebells? Like, I'm sorry, no, that doesn't work for me. But everything else about the episode is great. I love Rusty's role. I love the atmosphere. I love the score. I still get chills listening to that piece when Rusty and Stepney go over the viaduct. It's so good. Stepney gets lost. I'll put it in A tier. So close to being S though, like really close. The only thing that holds it back for me is the ending. It was kind of a Deus Ex Machina how Topham just shows up and saves Stepney. It's a good thing I was visiting this yacht tonight. Okay, but why? Why are you here? So yeah, not as peak as it could have been, but still an amazing episode. Haunted Henry though. Oof. Yeah. Actually, I think A is fine. Yeah. I like Henry's characterization, Edward being the one to drift the idea of supernatural activity, again, is fitting, as we're going to see later in Scaredy Engines. But yeah, I think it's a really strong episode. Amazing atmosphere, amazing music. What else do you want from a Season 5 spooky episode? I think my only real issue is that I kind of wish they kept the Gordon scene. Like, there was I guess there was meant to be a scene where Gordon teases Henry, which is why we see him later in the episode, like, as he races by with the Express and scares him, I think. But that's a minor gripe, but an otherwise great episode. Toby's Discovery, I don't think this one is as good, but I like it. It's pretty good. I guess my only real complaint is that the ending was kind of rushed. I don't really think this one needed to drag out the adventure part in the first half all that much, even though we do get some lovely shots from it, but still. I think they could have at least given Bertram one line so we'd have something to go off of him by. But yeah, him just being like, hey, Toby, here's your ghost, and oh, we're friends now, episode over. Yeah, it's kind of lame, but still a good episode, good atmosphere, and I swear to God, the next person I hear that says this was the start of Toby's wimpy arc in the fucking hit era and CGI era, I'm gonna deck them. Rusty and the Boulder, yep, S tier. Probably the best use of unrealism in the entire show. I love this one to bits. Provides a nice commentary on nature and potentially climate. And I think them using Rusty in this episode was effective, as Thomas Siddick puts it in his one of his latest videos, the real main character of Thomas. I highly recommend you guys check it out. I advertised it on my community post a while back. It's a fantastic video. Duncan gets spooked. What do I need to say? It's phenomenal. Scaredy engines. Yeah, I think B tier is fine. It's got a good atmosphere. I like seeing Duck and Percy's friendship. I do think Thomas was a bit too mean in this episode. Like, he has no real reason to tease Percy after what they learned in Thomas, Percy, and the Dragon. But I still think it's a good episode. And yeah, I don't think I have much else to say on that, honestly. Haunted Mine, yeah, I'm not too big on this one. It's got a good atmosphere, and I don't mind Percy in the episode, but God and gnomes, really? This is the thing that makes Percy shits his pants. I guess it's cool that Donald and Douglas are the ones telling the story about the gnomes, but yeah, the gnomes themselves just don't feel very Thomasy. None of these episodes are really like horror themed, like you watch one of these and you'll never be the same again, but it's just fun kid show material. But not this episode, I was not a fan. Jack Frost, huge step up. It's more character driven. I love Percy and James's rivalry. And again, better than Tale of the Brave because James doesn't go out of his way to traumatize Percy. He just made fun of him once. They both do their jobs. And then by funny coincidence, James is the one that gets scared and Percy gets the last laugh. Pretty good stuff. I also really like that James takes it in stride at the end. It feels like something he would do, and even though it's something we've never seen before, it still feels like something he would do. Like, he would totally hype up this thing as, oh, I saw this thing that Thomas was talking about yesterday, it was so cool, he even knows my name. Which makes it all the funnier that Percy shows up and is like, oh, he also knows that you ran away. And everyone just laughs. Even James, he's not even mad. That's so cool. Yeah, great episode. Bad Day at Castle Rock, I really wanted to put this higher, but yeah, I didn't feel like the spooky element was pushed hard enough, but this one gets points for characterization alone, and I love that Donald and Douglas's Scottish heritage is played in this episode, and is used as a major plot point. I like that so much. And Percy and Harvey are fun supplementary characters as well. Not much else to say here, pretty good episode. Fergus breaks the rules, not too big on you. The title is misleading because Fergus didn't really break any rules since the rule he quote-unquote followed wasn't even a real rule. Also, why would he even listen to Diesel if the scene right before this showed that Diesel causes trouble? And even before that, Fergus knew he caused trouble, so he could have at least checked with the Fat Controller. But no, plot. Fucking. Yeah. Not too big on this one. It's kinda whatever. It exists. Scary. Or, I'm sorry, Percy's Scary Tale. Even though Percy's not even the one who tells the story. This one's pretty good, though. Max and Monty are fun as always. I like that Kelly's the one that tells the story, implying that he's, like, the older and more experienced of the bunch. And yeah, it's a nice simple episode. Although the one thing I don't like about it is how the narrator spends all this time saying Alfie is small, so is Percy. Alfie is green, so is Percy. Like, why are you describing what the audience can clearly see about them? Like, I don't think they even talk to each other throughout the episode. The narrator just tells us this stuff because why not? He makes it sound like they're going to be plot relevant, but they literally do nothing. This is the Max and Monty episode through and through. Yeah, that was a dumb scene, but still a good episode. Halloween, yeah, this one's amazing. It's a relatively simple story, but I like Thomas and Emily as a pair. Harry and Bert are maybe a bit too childish, but I can allow it here. And the atmosphere, what can I say? Not only do we see inside the smelter shed, but we see the whole yards too. And I think that's the only time we actually saw that in the model series. It's so good. And the chase at the end was pretty fun too. Just a pretty fun episode overall. I really like it. Flower Power. This one tries to be fun like Halloween, but not too big on this episode. I'm not a fan. Thomas and Diesel are way too childish here, and Thomas just wasting flour like that. Yeah, that's not cool, man. Topham doesn't even question it at the end of the episode. He's like, oh, it's not Thomas. It's not a ghost engine. It's Thomas. Well done, Thomas. He's like, he should have been like, Thomas, why are you covered in flour? Like, he should at least be questioning it, but he doesn't. It's kind of dumb. Not my favorite episode, but yeah, the spooky atmosphere is pretty good at least. Like all the model episodes, so it gets some points for that. But other than that, not my fave. Percy and the Monster of Random. I will give it points for Percy himself, though. I think he's characterized well. Like, him actually being interested in the monster harkens back to Ghost Train from season 2. I think it's kind of fun how Salty sent him on a fool's errand only to find out, lol, it's a hate fest on Cranky, because why not? That was kind of cool, but the episode mostly suffers from Edward, Henry, and Toby's characterization. They all feel really off here, because, you know, them being overly wimpy. Like, it's like they intentionally chose the worst possible trio to exemplify this. It's so bad. And I guess the fog animation, kind of like Spencer the Grand, was, I guess, okay. You can actually see what's going on half the time, but still a bad episode. Not a fan. Phantom Express, I would put in the same tier. This is meant to be a prelude to the Tell the Brave arc, with, you know, James harassing Percy, and James gets karma for it. James doesn't even feel like James, he feels more like Diesel. If this was the Percy and Diesel episode, and, I don't know, replace Steven with Millie, because that's another thing. Steven also feels out of character in this episode. Like, he doesn't strike me as the kind of guy who would be so easily jumped by a fucking whistle. It's kind of lame. This episode, in general, is very lame. Not a fan at all. Flatbed Zephyr, I would put in the same boat. I like Emily in this episode well enough. Thomas could be replaced by anyone, and Henry sucks. End of. I'm not a fan. Diesel's Ghostly Christmas. I was debating on not including this on the list because it's a Christmas episode, but it has Ghostly in the title, so I figured, fuck it, why not? But yeah, this episode is just alright. The whole climax with Diesel redeeming himself by taking Topham to Ulfstead was dumb. Why can't bro just have his assistants drive him there? The episode in general isn't the worst thing ever. I like the designs of each of the quote unquote ghosts. At least a faithful tribute to Christmas Carol, even though it's kind of a repetitive story for kids shows. But yeah, the episode's alright. Not my favorite, but it's not the worst thing ever. Oh, Henry in the Dark. I like you. You're going to B. This being Henry's last ever major role is fitting, especially because it's the one where he gets back at the others for making fun of him. And I just think it's kind of a funny episode in general. Not much else to say here. It's pretty good. Not you, though. You suck. Ew, gross. Get out of here. It's nice that Annie, Clarabelle, and Henrietta get a nice moment. Trevor Speaks is kind of cool. And I guess the Percy bashing into Henry scene was kind of funny. But aside from that, everything else sucks. Thomas, Percy, and Toby all feel off. And I'm not a fan at all. Everyone has talked about this episode. I don't need to go any further. You, though, I have a lot to say about you. Okay. Plot-wise, this episode I don't think makes any sense whatsoever. So, let me get this straight. Diesel is causing shit by bumping into Nia and Paxton in the shunting yards, and Paxton's like, maybe this is where I would have an easier time working if Diesel wasn't around. Diesel gets offended by this, and he's like, I'm gonna make the engines all miss me and stuff. So he covers himself in glow-in-the-dark paint. So he pretends to be a ghost and tell Nia and Paxton, hey, come look for me, and only them for some reason. After that, they go looking for him, but not because they actually care about him, but because Paxton is doing Diesel's jobs as well as his own, and Diesel is hiding in fucking Luke's tunnel from Blue Mountain Mystery, a narrow gauge tunnel. Like, seriously, how did y'all miss that? Yeah, while Diesel's hiding, he's like, oh, why aren't they coming to look for me? I'm lonely. And after they do eventually find him, they just like, oh, let's put paint on our faces so they can scare Diesel into doing his jobs. Ooh, I'll do everyone's jobs tomorrow. Just leave me alone. Yeah, it's pretty dumb. The story is kind of nothing. Diesel is annoying. Nia and Paxton could be replaced by Percy and Delp, which I think would be better. It's kind of it's not even really a spooky episode. It just has, like, I guess, glow-in-the-dark Diesel, so I kind of had to include it on here. But I can't even talk properly because this episode's giving me nothing to say. But yeah, it's easily the most substanceless episode on this list. I can't think of anything good about it, honestly. I guess Nia and Paxton is a fun pairing in theory, but they don't really do anything with it. But yeah, fuck this episode. Oh, all engines go. I bet you're wondering why I'm including this on the list. Because, I mean, this is a spooky episodes list, and it is Thomas, so I kind of had to include it by default. Sorry, guys. Doesn't change the fact that it's F tier, though. No, I actually watched the episode, and it's so bad. So, okay, so for those who don't know, the plot is that there's this ghost train that's like roaming the rails and doing stuff, and Thomas and Percy has to deliver the mail even though he really doesn't, and Percy has this ghost scaring machine on a truck, and which he uses to scare away the ghosts. And Diesel and the Troublesome Trucks think, hey, why don't we scare the others? But no, it turns out Thomas's favorite boxcar, Boxy, is like moving on its own and has a tarp on him. So it goes around trying to catch up to Thomas and Percy. They get scared. Diesel and the trucks get scared. They go back to the maintenance yard, and Carly's like, yes, Carly the train, not the crane. Carly the train, like, lifts the tarp off, and he's like, hey, it's Boxy. He's like, oh wait, no, it was Diesel. Fuck, I watched the episode yesterday, and I'm already forgetting what's happening. Yeah, this episode, they didn't even try on the spook factor. Like, I know it's a preschool show, but like, all the episodes in S tier are from a preschool show. This especially, this is a Hit episode. Hit wanted to babyfy Thomas, but they still went hard with making this something that it's gonna stick with kids. Like, this one has no excuse. It's so substanceless and nothing. No character defining moments whatsoever. Fuck this one, and fuck Diesel Goes Away. I guess fuck all the episodes in D tier. Everything in B tier and above I would recommend if you want something, if you didn't have something for yesterday. But yeah, that's my list. Hope you all enjoyed. If you all have any disagreements, let me know in the comments, and I will see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.